Okay, everybody, welcome back to our second part of the agents session. I hope everybody enjoyed that little hour off. You're able to uh, build some cool stuff with your agents, play around with the system a little bit, and maybe even, I don't know, get some food or drink in the way as well. So we're going to get started just like always at 2 minutes past the hour. I know this is the second session, but it still gives people a chance to arrive. They're a couple of minutes behind schedule and we will begin, like I said, 1 minute from now at 2 minutes past. All right, great to hear a few people reporting what they've done over the last hour. A few folks had a quick dinner, got a cup of coffee. Good to hear everyone's refreshed and back ready for more. So a few people have mentioned that they maybe would like us to pin the link to the doc that Omar shared again. I also got all those other links that we had in the previous session pinned. So I'll compile that, pin the whole lot together, and you'll be able to access that stuff again. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. And I'll pass the mic back over to you, Omar.
Yeah, great. So, welcome everyone to part two of the agent session. This is where we become from yellow belts to samurai ninjas. So, great that you all joined. I know it's late in some places. Somebody, Madhu from India, said he joined us. So, it's probably like midnight or approaching midnight. So, thanks everyone for joining. This is going to be a very interesting session and it's going to be very hands-on. And the purpose of this next 60 minutes is to give you that rod that whenever you want to use it to fish, you can, and you know how to make these decisions. And we're going to jump right in. But before that, we're going to do a very quick recap on what we covered last time. So let me share my screen. I shared the prompts, by the way, not the prompts, the links to the agents in the chat. Alex will shortly add that as a pinned message. If anyone joined us right now and wasn't in the first session, we are going to do a very quick uh, overview and recap. There's a lot to cover, so if you are just joining us, make sure to watch the recording. Recordings will be sent at the end of the week, around Thursday or Friday, so keep an eye out for that for all of the 6 sessions of Impact Studio. Great. So we are continuing our adventure around agents. And what we're going to do now is a quick recap. Afterwards, you are going to build your own agent. We can get hands-on with agent templates as we did already. So we might skip this and jump a little bit into explaining what skills are. So let's do a quick recap about what we talked about. So the agent's main components, remember, we have instructions, which are the goal and how to achieve it. We have context, the environment or the board. For example, if you're on Monday, this is the context of the agent. So it knows where it works, it knows how to analyze the environment of its work, and kind of like the who and where, also teammates, of course. So it knows kind of like it has an orientation of where it's at. Third, we have skills, which we discussed a little bit, and tools, which are what we connect the agents to. Are there multiple tools? Like, is it connected to my Gmail? Is it connected to my calendar? Is it connected to the Zoom? So these are the four main components under the hood of an agent. We looked a little bit into the agent interface, which we'll discuss today more in depth. We went through the instructions. So remember, it includes an objective, a very clear objective. This is the one thing I want out of you, Mr. or Mrs. Agent. The steps to get there, the guardrails. Guardrails is what not to do. Don't show me things that you already showed me a day before. All kinds of guidelines that you can add as we go along, as you iterate your agent again and again. So this is the interface, and of course, we said that you don't need to worry about writing exactly the instructions, in a specific format. Monday does that for you. So you can, as easy as a prompt, tell the agent builder what you want it to achieve, and it'll build it. Now, how we get to that conclusion of what we want to build, we'll speak about in a second. We discussed the definitions. What are the differences between assistants, automations, and agents? Remember, an agent is non-deterministic. It can rationalize, it plans, decides using AI. It's repetitive, okay? And it loops in planning and improvements all while we're running. Okay, so before we jump into the pop quiz that we created here, let's pause for a second, and I think that uh, we got a few newcomers in the last 5 minutes. So welcome everyone for joining us. Um, we are going to be very hands-on in this session. The part one session was a session where we discussed a lot of theory, and last 20 minutes we discussed a little bit of practice, and now we're going to get really into to the details and the hands-on. Great. So let's do a quick quiz. Is this a use case where we build an agent or is it not? Okay, so I want you all to be involved. Feel free to answer in the chat. This is scenario number one. A volunteer cancels their shift 2 hours before a food bank event. The system finds available volunteers, checks their skills and location, messages the top three, and updates the schedule when someone confirms. Okay, so this includes system to look into availability, checks their skills. So let's say they have a skill that they submitted in a form. Messages, it sends an email to the top three, or maybe even a WhatsApp message or a Telegram message, and updates the schedule. What do you think? This is an automation, an assistant, or agent?
Looks like a pretty unanimous bunch of agents in the comments. No one's being brave enough to vote for anything else, but it looks like, yeah, 20 or 30 people are voting for agent for this one. What do you think, Omar?
I think that's amazing because everyone is completely correct. We have here a few different tools connected. We have here reasoning. We have here reaching out. So let's say the volunteer isn't available and they respond that they're not available. You have reasoning to move to the next volunteer. So great answers, everyone. Second scenario. Every Monday at 8 a.m., the system pulls last week's volunteers from the tracker and emails a summary report to the executive director.
Lots of good answers coming in the chat. Pretty common. People are saying automation, some going for a
Yeah.
workflow, some saying not an agent, but maybe partially.
Amazing. So most of you were right. It's an automation, correct? It's a workflow automation. It doesn't need too many tools involved. It doesn't need reasoning. There's a very set amount of a very set instructions of what to do. On Monday, 8 a.m., pull the information from this board and send a summary. Simple. It doesn't involve reasoning. It doesn't involve decision making. Last one, and then we'll jump in further. A donor hasn't given in over a year. The system reviews their giving history and past interests, writes a personalized engagement message, and flags high-value donors for a personal phone call instead. All right.
System.
I'm not even going to explain this one. I think that great. Agent
Yeah,
So
pretty
the correct
unanimously agent, maybe a human assistant, but yeah, it looks like pretty common answer as agent in the chat there.
Exactly. Great, guys. I'm really proud of you. We're making some real good progress. I won't take all the credit to ourselves because I know that you guys are using these things in your day to day. But think about it this way. Does it need autonomy? Are there tools? Is there an iteration involved or a simple pattern? Great. Now, before we dive into an exercise, I want to address something that really comes up a lot. We are going to dive in now and start building ourselves before we want to understand and map the use cases. So we're going to map the use cases, and then once we map the use case that we want to work on, we're going to do that to build the agent on Monday. Okay? Now, let's start. I'm going to share with you this form. And what I'd like for all of you to do is to open a completely new doc. Open this on a tab beside it because you can't make edits on this. And let's really zoom in on this file so that we can map and understand very clearly how to make a decision and which agent we even want to build. Where should we start from? I'm going to give everyone a second. Amazing. As you all kind of open this document, let me just say this. We're now going to decide and map the different use cases, how we can create a use case is literally the thing that we're going to do in the next 10 minutes. So let's be laser focused. Ignore now all the messages, everything that's popping up on your desktop, because this is kind of the rod that we were talking about. This is what makes you a independent in the field wherever you are, whenever you need it. You can make this decision on your own, and you won't need templates. You won't need instructions. And this is kind of like the mindset and how to get to a successful agent. So let's start with your mission. All right. Identify real opportunities for AI agent or simpler AI patterns in your work, personal and beyond. By the end of this exercise, you'll have two or three vetted use cases. We'll try to make it one or two to move things faster. A clear sense of which pattern fits each one and whether each is a personal agent or a reusable one. So let's start with finding the opportunities. Let's brainstorm with ourselves for a second. What repetitive or manual tasks consume too much of your day? Is it emails? Is it summarizing? Is it research? What strategic or creative work would you do with more capacity? This is for opportunity and scale. And where are the bottlenecks? Are we changing systems? All right. Or is it almost predictable process? For an agent, it would be more about switching systems. It can reduce friction by connecting a few systems together. Okay. I'll let you think about this for a second. And while you think about it, I will address here a few things in the chat. Please show us how to use for social media posts. Okay. I hope that by the end of this session, you'll be able to do that yourself and take this use case and let's zoom in on that. Can an agent pull from all your different products at the same time? Yes, so custom agents on Monday, you can plug it in also to your CRM and also to work management. But let's now get back to the document and kind of focus on how we are defining our idea. What pattern does it use? Okay, now it's interesting. Now it's we differentiate whether it's an agent, an ad hoc prompt assistant, or automation. Okay. You don't use AI when it's a simple workflow, all right, or change or automation. An agent, like we said, needs to plan, is repetitive, uses tools, makes decisions, iterates until it's done. Ad hoc prompting is a one-off task, no setup needed. So this is things that you can ask from Sidekick on Monday or your ChatGPT, an assistant as well. This is a recurring use case. And automation is very determinative. Like it's predetermined. And we talked about this. So think about a use case from your experience. All right, great. What's the scope? Now, this is an interesting one. Is it personal for your own use? And we can start with that. I think this is a simpler use case. But if you feel more advanced, maybe let's go with a reusable one for the whole team, like a process or a business capability that persists. All right. Try and identify what repeats in your daily routine. Examples. We mentioned earlier, like in the first part, we mentioned a grant researcher. We mentioned a action item note taker. So pulls from meetings, pulls actions, and that's for me, that's one of the main time suckers of the day, and I'll also elaborate on that. And then let's start classifying. So please take a moment and classify two of your main ideas on a document you made. It can be on notes or whatever it is that's comfortable for you. But let's map down these use cases. And I will also share here a form. Mm-mm-mm. Once you're ready with your use case, you can share it with us. The idea of this form is A, to show you something, another AI capability on the Monday boards. So how we can generate from a use case instructions, all right? And also this is for us to be able to work on templates for you guys later down the road. We're aiming here all to be experts, but sometimes a good template just does the job. So if we see stuff that are repetitive, like the social media posts that were asked for a few times, then this is something that we'll take internally and start working on developing a template to add to our existing templates. So please take a moment and fill out the form. Let's see if we got any responses. Great. A few coming in. All right, now let me show you something cool, and also this might help some of you in generating the instructions for an agent. Share my screen again. Great, thanks for all the cooperation, guys. Amazing. So these are the answers for the form: organization name, website, email, and what is the use case? Constantly use case, you would like to build an agent. I'm constantly writing down action items on meetings. That's, I think, myself, yes. Grant research. I would like to build an agent. Action item note taker. Great. An agent to help me with social media. Great. All right. Now look at this column over here. What is happening right now? All right. So this is an auto-filled with AI column. Alex has discussed this earlier this week that we can add blocks, we can add columns, populate and fill out information. So I've defined a column that what it does, it looks at the answer and generates instructions for an agent. How cool is that? See, it populates. I'm not doing anything right. Awesome. Amazing. Okay, this is super helpful. So let's take an example. I would like to build an agent to help manage grant reporting. Perfect. All right. Now let's do the same. Take your use cases as you have over here. And just like we saw this column populating, this is what will happen on the Monday flow when you're building your agent. So let's take a look at that. All right. Um, you know what? Before we actually create an agent, I'd like to address a concern that's coming up a lot, questions about the usage of AI. And I want to say, want to first of all show you where this sits for whoever missed that. One second. Okay. Resharing screen right now. All right. Everyone, put a pin on your use case and we'll jump into that in a bit. If you go into your Monday administration board and you look at your credit usage, usage limits, permissions, etc., this is where you'll see your credit usage. Now, I know some of you are not admins, but this is where you can really start feeling comfortable and conscious about your credits. We've done a lot in order to give uh, almost all Monday accounts free credits last month. So, first of all, we encourage you to look at this board. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be concerned about how many credits you're going to use because this is the purpose. We gave it to you so that you can practice. Okay. If you're not an administrator, I would highly recommend thinking about ROI, thinking about the time you invest in an action and discussing that internally with your team. So, going back to our um, use case, I'm going to add here something that takes hours off my week. And this is summarizing, okay, summarizing meetings and turning them into action items. Now, I know note takers already do transcriptions, which are great, but I want them also as action items on my board and I want it to be filled in automatically. After each important meeting, I sit down for 15, 20 minutes and start defining them. If you do the math and multiply it by a week, by a month, this is hours of work. And this is where the whole mindset needs to shift into, hey, wait a second, this thing is efficient. It's worth the credits. Again, we're not forcing anyone to use credits. This is we are completely conscious about being limited, but this is what you need to think about. How much time does this eventually save you and your team to do more? Nonprofits lack resources and they need to do more with more capabilities, and this is where these capabilities come in. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So I will take my use case and thank you guys. Wow, so much for this cooperation. I also see that the AI column is being filled perfectly. Now, this capability also exists here. Same one. All right. Build your agent. Add a teammate that gets the work done for you. So just to talk about this, this is where the agent instructions start. You can select an agent model. We got that question before. We use Sonnet, GPT, Gemini. We have more coming soon. We recommend putting this on automatic, and you can already add context or you can wait with it. Let's ignite. So again, I'm reminding you the use case that you've defined in the previous exercise place it into this text window over here, and click on the arrow. All right. Hello, Anna. Let's onboard Anna. Let's give her a little bit of a cool touch that goes well with her bluish turquoise outfit. Yeah, I think that's shiny enough. All right, great. Now, I haven't touched anything, and look what's happening. We have a message saying, nice to meet you. Here's how I'm going to work. Okay, first of all, this is a first step in the door. We already have instructions set over here because of the thinking and logic that happened behind the scenes. Okay, so you can compare this exactly to this right here. I'm going to work, I'll listen for meeting content such as transcripts, notes, or updates shared with me via mentions or assignments. I'll automatically extract the action items from the context so you don't have to write them down manually. Perfect. Love that. I'll add each action item as a new entry to a Monday board. Wow, lovely. I'll capture relevant details. If no action items are found, I won't create any unnecessary entries. That's also amazing because we don't want too much noise and information. Okay, now I will click on yes, that's right. Now I'm building my agent, and you guys should be doing the same on your use case, and hopefully it's going well for you. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'll try to respond in a moment. Alex and my team members are also responding in the chat to whatever we can. Let's give a quick reminder of the components here. We have instruction. Okay, instructions are the objectives, how to reach that objective, exceptions that might be also called guardrails. Okay, this is kind of like the baseline. Now, remember, this is a process. It will always be updated because we're now onboarding a new team member. So we will need to iterate and have patience for that because in the long run, it's so much worth it. Next, we have the tools and the knowledge. I want to give it access to a board that's relevant. So it recommended a few boards, or I can ask it to connect to my meeting action items. So yeah, I am pretty sure this is the one I want to connect it to. Hope it's not going to be to someone else's, but let's uh, let's cross fingers. I'm going to give it full access because I want it to also update and run automatically. And then I can also add files if I want to give it some more context. This is the context area, the knowledge area, and this is where it understands where it's supposed to operate. Okay. So if you want to add a file, you can do that. A file can be something like, I don't know, your brand, your tone of voice, your fonts. Let's say if this was an agent that wants to do, we want to configure to do social media posts. Okay. Let's say if this is an agent to research for grants, we can also add that as a file saying this is my organization or about my organization. Or another way is to add a skill, which I'll discuss in a moment. Tools. Tools is what we need to get this started. So right now, Anna is my action item manager. I wanted to connect to my note-taking AI. I'm going to connect it to my note taker because this is what I'm using, the Monday note taker, which can also be found here on the left side, left panel. Highly recommended to connect these two together. They give a lot of value in the long term. And then we have the skills. So skills at this point for this agent is not relevant that much, but I can show you a few skills that will kind of spark your, I guess, curiosity and give you some inspiration. So we have some Monday skills that we already have predefined, like a social post creator. So this is a skill. You know what? Let's even click on it. Although it doesn't have anything to be anything relevant to this agent. I want to show you what a skill is. So a skill is a specific skill set. All right. So to give an agent, so we want to tell it how and when to use this skill. For example, this is a social post creator. You need to write a LinkedIn post, thread, or announcement. You want to promote a project launch or update. You want consistent, high quality social content. Topic or raw content. Okay, this goes really into the details. Okay, format, outputs, Monday context usage, example use cases. All right. So this is another layer into the instructions. The instructions can be something like, I want to create now a social media poster. I am going to update items and I want you to turn them into social posts that speak my tone. For this agent, for example, let's see if there's something relevant here. Format Monday updates, maybe duplicate finder. Yeah, so maybe a duplicate finder. If there are redundancies like uh, the agent accidentally pulled in duplicates, all right, like two action items that are the same action item. I don't want that. So I'll add a duplicate finder and tell it to cancel that one, the extra one. Don't worry too much about skills because this is an iterative process. So don't ruin your flow. Like enjoy the creation, enjoy making it, and don't worry about this because this is always something that you can come back to improve. The other important thing is to add a trigger. All right. So for us, whatever it is your use case is, whether it's a research that needs to start, let's say you're looking for a grant. All right. Let's say once you confirm the grant and you want to extract all the deadlines, okay, the status change is very relevant. So you review the grant, you change the status to in progress or gathering info, and then the agent starts working on extracting that information. So many use cases, like I'm just making this from the top of my mind. I am focused now on the action item manager. I want action items on my board without working at all after meetings. So I will connect this to my note taker, which I did, and I will tell it to start when a meeting has ended. All right. Let's see what it does next. All right, choose for whom you want to run this workflow. Run only for me. Add trigger. Perfect. Easy. Now let's go back to the chat here, to the chat with my agent. And it asked me what I want to do, if I want to connect it to an existing Monday board. So this was before I already connected it. Let's see if it understood. Okay, I've already connected it. Can you see the board? Sorry, I can't see what I'm typing. Yeah. Uh, so take your time, interact with it, ask it questions. Okay. The more you chat with it, the more it will know how to improve and how to be custom made for you. I will remind everyone right now that running a task will charge credits, will charge AI credits, not building the agent, but running the task. If now I will tell it to extract action items from my last meeting and put them into a board, it will charge me credits. However, when I'm building, it won't. Great. Let me check what's currently connected. I don't see any board connected. Interesting. Okay, I thought I connected something. All right, let's do it easier for it to understand. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, let's create a new board. Let's create a new board. So I could have done this on my own, but I asked the agent to do it. Again, because it's creating a board for me, it's doing a task for me, it will take some credits, probably a couple dozens, like 20 credits, or I don't know. But you can also create one yourself by going to the plus button and just adding here a new board. All right. What would you like me to call the board? Action item, meeting, action items. All right. While I build this, I see there's a lot going on in the chat, in the Zoom chat, I mean. So I will,
Yeah, maybe I can highlight a couple for you. I mean, it's a great question about when you build in, guardrails. You want to build in a human in the loop step or something like that. And the question was, where is the best place to put in those kind of things? Would you put those in the instructions? Where would you recommend to add those kind of little controls that keep you with a little bit of an input in what's happening?
great question. So within the instructions, you can add guardrails, all right? Add them like you update a plain text. Sorry, the Zoom is always taking my ability to type for some reason. So it's always pausing. But you can add it here. You can ask the agent to add it. Anna, are there any guardrails that you recommend? Like, feel free to ask the agent, but the short answer would be on the instructions. Here we go. Oh, no sensitive data. I love that. I would skip any action item that contains personal, confidential, or sensitive data, like salary discussions, HR matters. Great. Great guardrail. All right. Let's add the second one. Look how simple it is. Okay. It's doing the work for you even when you set it up. Got it. Adding the sensitive data guardrail now. Done. Okay. Let's give it a look. Uh, 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 uh. Did it add? Probably added in the back end, but it didn't update it on the interface. Um, okay. All right. Wait, I kind of lost track. Sorry. Sidetracked. Let's wait and make sure we nail the guardrails. I don't see it in my instructions. Just to show you a bit of a kind of interaction with the agent, eventually it's here. I have no doubt if I refresh the screen, we'll see it here, but I kind of like want to show you the granularity that you can get into with agents. Don't be shy. They don't judge. So really like ask it, ask it. Okay, now let's go back to my action items. Great, it created a board for me. So let me run into that board. All right, this is awesome. Let's see if it added any items. Not yet. Okay. All right, let's skip the guardrails for now to focus it because we don't have much time. But let's do this. Let's go back to setting up the trigger. All right, when a node taker meeting ends. So you see, this kind of helps you step by step onboarding. So even if I wouldn't customize it like I showed you, it can do it for you once it sets itself up. Myself only. This goes back a little bit to the question about if is it personal or is it a team thing. So again, everything is coming back. Okay, the trigger is set. I'll now automatically activate after each of your note-taker meetings and extract action items. It actually includes this specific session that I have a note-taker on. After this meeting, I know I will have action items on my board, which is great. Here's a quick summary. All right, I hope you all got to this phase as well, where it summarizes the board, meeting action items. Okay, note taker check, enable to pull meetings, triggers, fires when your note taker meeting ends, and guardrails. Sensitive content is flagged. So it confirms that this is indeed a guardrail that's set. Okay. Dimensions, this is a default. So every time you mention it, it will know how to respond. Let's run a quick test. Run a quick test. Now, again, if you just joined, running a test may consume credits. It's all good. Remember that Monday has provided free credits for your use. Hopefully, you can run this also on yourselves. Um, and also think about like something simple at first. We're testing something basic. Don't go now too far, like analyzing 100 PDF files or something like that. Keep it simple. So let's run a quick test. You can always gradually evolve the agent, and as it evolves, you'll keep track and understand like the ballpark of the credit consumption. Great. While this is taking place, let me pause here and take a look a little bit of on the chat, the Zoom meeting. Alex, anything you picked up on that maybe we should address?
Oh yeah, there's so much going on in the chat, folks. This is thick and fast and furious. Very cool. Yeah, maybe a few people speaking about the different models that it uses. If you can, integrate it with other ones. Maybe you've got any thoughts about which ones you like to use, Claude versus Gemini, connecting it via the MCP, etc.
Yeah, so in terms of the LLM connected, just go with automatic. Uh, Monday will already understand what the best engine to activate is, so I highly recommend that. If you're used to one of them, you can select from the drop down as well. We are going to go more into tools tomorrow in our automations session. So stick around tomorrow as well for that session because that's going to be more about connecting external tools, my Gmail, and so forth. Yes, it's going to be recorded and everything will be sent in the end of this week, around Thursday or Friday. Okay, cool. Let me also run through a few, maybe. By now, you should have been at the point where you have these checkboxes. The agent already described what it's going to do, and you're kind of like on the verge of deciding if to run or not to run. So this is where we're at right now. If you have questions so far about that process, then let's see them now. All right. How complex can the work be analyzing financial data from several organizations and create dashboards, for example? Is it possible? Great question. Um, Complicated tasks are possible. Sometimes they may require different skill sets. So we might want to connect different agents. How cool is that? An agent can be triggered once another agent is triggered. So let's say I have one agent that's the analysis expert. All right. I want it super focused, laser focused only on analyzing a file. This is all it does. Once it finishes analyzing, creates a summary, it passes it on to another agent that knows how to extract information and kind of maybe visualize this information and turn it into graphs. So this is just one example of how you can kind of connect agents together. And I will say this, each agent, try and keep it as focused as possible. Simple tasks will improve the likeliness of your agent succeeding. Okay? Think simple. Always simplify, simplify, simplify. Worst case, which is not a worst case, you connect another agent. Think about different specialities. When you hire someone, when you have a team member that's on, five different departments, for sure it won't do every task 100%. So think about it that way. The more you focus, the better the agent will be. This is why start with thinking very small. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Um, all right, let's see.
Yeah, there's a few questions
Uh,
about. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just reading one out loud by Nick Brookman. I've been playing around with my new agent and asked the agent to update a credit usage text column for each item. Smart. For many, the grant research, it used 6 to 9 credits for each item, which actually gave me quite a lot of information, including the EIN, the contact info. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, Nick, and it's all cool. But yeah, this is great to know. This is a very creative idea and very cool. Like you can actually um, uh, 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 create, if I understood correctly, it asked the agent to update a credit usage text column. So there's a column on the board that says how many credits it used. Very, very clever. So this way it can all be visualized and in front of you on one board. Any more use cases? This is super interesting. Anything else you guys kind of experimented with and you want to share before I go back to the demonstration? All right, I have already. Okay, Anne is saying that she already used most of the credits before this class. All right, so first of all, um, again, think about the 33% that nonprofits get from the nonprofit program. And if you're not in the nonprofit program, then you can sign up with the resources. Secondly, from our end, we are working very hard uh, to make an extension on those free credits for existing accounts. So be on the lookout. We can't make any promises, but the team is trying its best to give nonprofits more AI credits for free. However, again, take this back to the mindset. If it saves you time, time is money, then it might be worth it. Another $10, $20. And again, I'm not going into your financials. That's not my intention. I think about it that way, and it'll be much easier. You might be spending from a different pocket, we'll call it, for the same task that you're running. You're just not calling it AI credits. You're calling it, I don't know, like another tool that I'm using. So think about that as well. And we're trying our best to extend those free AI credits as much as we can. So hopefully that happens. Okay. All right. It was impossible for me to keep up and create the agent from session one. You can see it on the pin. I believe Alex added it. All right. Feel free to share with us a few use cases, and I will jump back in a moment. Okay, let me share my screen again. Now check out something really cool. This is a use case that will probably happen to everyone. Um, I forgot where my board is. So Anna has plugged into a new meeting action items board that it created for me. I have it here because it told me where it's at. And I forgot. So I clicked on it, and then you'll see this open up, which will show you the actual board. And if I click on this, will simply take me to that board. Okay. Now let's ask Anna to go over our last meeting. Anna, can you please go over the last uh, Impact Studio session we had named, mm-mm. Sorry, folks. Let me just recopy this. Okay. Named and extract had today named and extract all action items to the board. All right, let's let it work. Now, for any of you who missed the templates that we created, a few things to point out. If you go while Anna is working, by the way, this is the board, and you can see Anna over here. All right, you can see how she's working. We'll dive into this in a bit. So everything is very visible. You can see the tasks that the agent is working on. And now I just want to share with you the templates area. If you go to here, to the Monday Marketplace, or here, then you will find AI Hub. Within the AI Hub, we are releasing, as we speak, new templates. So what I'm creating right now, all of you can find here. It's called Meeting Action Agent. All right, so you can use this agent and just kind of a plug and play. Again, nothing is ever perfect with agents. You need to iterate, but you have a packaged agent with a set of instructions. All right. And as for our amazing nonprofit champions like the Grant Discovery Agent, the Grant Cycle Agent, the Volunteer Assignment, and the Donor Enhancement internally. So you will not see them. You will only see the ones available that have been tested. Okay, but we have some good news. In a couple of weeks, you will be able also to access them, and we will send you, of course, this announcement. So keep an eye out for the Grant Discovery Agent, Grant Lifecycle Agent, Donor Enhancement, Volunteer Assignment Agent, and we will also be looking at all the things that you shared with us, which are amazing. All of these use cases that we can afterwards sit down and think how we build them and package them in the best way with the best instructions possible. So that's something to look out for. Okie doke. Now Anna is still working and it's extracting the 8 action items. Now I'm in a very zoomed in view of the agent interface. Let's see what it actually did. Ooh, love this. Okay. So these are a few. Okay. These are a few example items that aren't relevant. But check this out. It actually filled out all of the action items. So apply to Monday for .com nonprofit program. We discussed this, of course. All of these were discussed last time in the last session. And what it did is the transcription and broke it down into action items. How cool is that? Experiment with the gifted 6,000 AI credits, plan to adopt non-focused agents like Grant Lifecycle, Grant Discovery. So this is a summary. Now it's going to work automatically. I can change, by the way, the items. I don't want them as tasks. I might want them as sub-items and not as items. So I can easily talk to the agent here and ask it. Oh, it's opening Sidekick. That also happens. But I can, again, access the agents from my agents page and communicate with Anna and tell it, hey, let's do sub-items for each meeting instead and add a meeting title as the item. So this way I know when the meeting took place, which meeting it was. All right. So we add that to its instructions. Now you saw nothing's perfect. I got to like, I don't know, 70%, 80% in like 20 minutes. And then I need to iterate a little bit. So Now it'll update the instructions very quickly. We can view it. We can make sure that it's working. This is also very cool. You see what it deleted and what it did instead. So very user friendly. Now it made the meeting, the parent item, the meeting title with the date, and the action items as the sub items. So let's run another test with the same meeting from the previous run. Okay, and while it's doing that, we can close this and it'll continue running. I will jump back in and also show you the activity log that you can also stay informed and see when an agent has operated. All right.
I'm here. Thank you. Thank you. And that's okay. Too bad you guys missed some sweets, some pastry.
Yeah, that also happens in Zoom meetings. All right. So you can basically see the agent activity here in the activity log. So right now it's working on creating that group title. You can see here, this is Anna. All right. You can filter, search person, or just see what the AI powered one has been doing. All right. So you can get very granular, and this is to give you the visibility and transparency that you need in order to be successful and also be responsible for your operations and keep track of everything. So, what do we have now? We have an agent that after every meeting,
Sorry to interrupt, Dom. I just wanted to make sure you're not sharing your screen anymore. So I just wanted to.
thank you for that. Oh, the best part, I wasn't sharing my screen. So again, activity log. You can see my screen now, right?
Yeah, looks good.
Great. Sorry about that. We're going to wrap up in 2 minutes, but the activity log, very important. This way you can keep track. You can find it here with updates. You can filter by AI powered and only see the agent's runs, okay? Or you can do what one of the attendees has recommended, and that's add another column that says how many credits ran, which is very, very creative. So look, while we were speaking, this is what happened, okay? This is what happened. I have now my meeting name, Monday Impact Studio, and with the date, it's under due date, but this is fixable. And we have all the action items. I could have gone and had my coffee, spoke with my colleague, or whatever I wanted to do, have a shake, drink a smoothie, and this would run by itself. This is what I want you to grab as your main takeaway. What are the things that take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes each time that are repetitive, all right, and that you can replace by something logical like an agent, okay? These 15, 20 minutes pile up, become hours and hours of work. And also for you, it gives you a peace of mind. So before we summarize what we did today, I want to say, I want to ask Alex real quick if there's something that's worth pointing out from your end from the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to just point out is around the cool work that you folks are doing with AI and with agents. It's a very new feature, obviously, in Monday. These things have only just been launched in the last months, and we're on the lookout for impactful stories, people around the world using agents for good. And we do have a little bit of budget to turn some of these cool stories into videos, maybe even fly a nonprofit to present at a conference or something like that. So we're looking for cool stories. And I know that many of you are in the beginning of your nonprofit journeys. But if you've built something that you would like to share with the world, any of those things may be possible. We could do, lots of different things with these testimonials. We would love to hear from you. So I put a link on the chat now. I'll also share my screen very briefly just so you can see a QR code. If anybody wants to scan it, you'll be able to open up a form. You can save that, and maybe even if you don't have something ready to share right now, you may be able to in the future share some really cool, impactful stories and inspire other nonprofits to have even greater impact using some of the same techniques that you've figured out today or on your own. So for me, that's all I wanted to finish on today, and of course to thank everyone for attending. And of course, yeah, can't wait to see what kind of cool work is done. I'll pass the mic back to you, Omar, for a wrap up. I don't think there's anything else critical in the chat apart from those points.
Great guys, and everyone. This testimonials are really a good way of us to work together and like strengthen the relationship and also help you get more awareness and spotlight. So take a moment and fill that out so we can do that on our social and blog posts. So I will wrap up today's session by saying, first of all, this has been super interesting for me. The first time where we're presenting such an immense amount of knowledge. So I hope you all digested it and remember that it's not something that from zero to we called it samurai in 2 hours. You're going to become a samurai. Just remember that it takes some time. So continue practicing, continue experimenting, learn. I can tell you that both Alex and I, where we were a month ago, is not where we are today. And you don't have to have all the credits in the world in order to do that. You need to just think specific, think repetitive tasks, think patterns, think logic, and think about the things that just take you an hour a day that you can replace with an automatic agent. Okay, I'll leave you with that. And I'll be really excited to see you all tomorrow when we dive into automations and Vibe. Vibe is also a very cool new feature that we have. We're going to have the product manager, actually, the guy who made Vibe. We're going to host him, Amichai. He's going to be with us tomorrow and show you how to build apps through Vibe coding on Monday. Dashboard, trackers, anything you can imagine that you can visualize, you'll see tomorrow. So stay tuned. Thank you all for joining from all over the world. We are grateful to be serving the most important segment from our perspective of Monday, the ones who really make a change in the world. And we truly admire what you guys are doing. So thank you all for joining and wish you a good day or good night wherever you are. Take care.
Bye, everybody.